Konnichiwa, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Connor Shank, and you are listening to the one and only Connor Talks Games. Now, I've been thinking a little bit since last episode in which I talked about Space Marine 2, and that has kind of put me on a track of just kind of going down memory lane a little bit. Growing up on 7th gen consoles, being forced to play Dead Space by my father, playing Resident Evil 7 at my uncle's throughout the entire night. That was an experience in of itself. And quite frankly, absolutely suffering, and I mean suffering, in my first attempt at Dark Souls 3 on the Xbox One, in which I played it for about 2 seconds as the Wretched class, and then I stopped playing it. But then I went back later and I beat it, and I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I beat Gale on my first try. So suck it. I want to talk a little bit about something that I know a lot of people have discussed, and that would be something along the lines of flash games. But before we get into that, I want to talk a little bit about what I've been doing. So recently, actually, I've just completed. I think I might have mentioned it last time, but I'm going to say it again here for anyone who, in case they might not have heard, certified Oblivion completion. I have beaten the Nine Divines. I have done the Shivering Isles, and I have absolutely ran over the base game. And it has been an absolutely wonderful experience the entire way through, except for the crappy melee, the same repeated dialogue, and, well, enemy bugs and glitches abound, which I know people have said is a feature, but the story kind of really pulled it together for me. And the penultimate climax, we could throw hands with the Daedric Prince himself. I think that definitely kind of put it into the yeah, this was worth it type thing. Now I'm probably gonna play Morrowind next, but currently my fixation is on Fate Extella Umbral Star, which I have actually played Link before, Fate Extella Link, which was my first kind of foray, I guess, into the full-on action genre within Fate. I'm not counting the mobile game FGO in that respect. I think that'd be an insult. Hmm. But I am. I was told the story was good. It's just the gameplay was ass. And so far, my experience with it is that the gameplay is mega ass, and the story is serviceable. I wouldn't say it's great. It is serviceable. I don't even think I'd go as far as to say it is good. It is serviceable. Now, granted, I'm still on Tamamo's route, and I got done with Nero's. There's a lot of Nero wanking actually in this game, but I told my friend I'd hold off on really going too far into it until I beat it. So we'll see how that goes. Now, let's get back on the topic of conversation. So I figured I'd just talk about a couple of Flash games that were near and dear to me growing up, and we could kind of see how, if anybody in the comments or possibly sends in a question, had a very similar experience. So I think actually a great start would be none other than Sunny, Sonny. So Sunny, for those who do not know, is a turn-based RPG game. I believe that was originally made by the Armored Game dev team, who were one of the hard-hitting OG websites back in the day, Armored Games. Although I was more pertinent to Max Games, Addicting Games, and of course Newgrounds. Tom Folk, I know you're out there, man. Castle Crashers. And we're actually going to mention them in a minute there, too, Castle Crashers, because there's an artist who did really good music for that game, who I am actually currently listening to. But for those who don't know, Sunny is a game in which you play as a zombie called Sunny. You wake up on a ship. There is a blind man who is just talking to you, and you just kind of go off and do stuff. And it starts out pretty normal enough. And then the next thing you know, you get off the ship, you're fighting zombies, there's ghost samurais, the fucking ZPCI, who are the anti-zombie guys who are trying to stop you. They're like SWAT, but they hate zombies. And then there's like this god figure who you throw hands with, but you're fighting with a paladin, and then that segues into a bit into the second game, in which you and the guy that you've met up with, except that guy in the opening segment gets a knife thrown at his head by this girl called Felicity, and she takes the tape that was given to you in the first game. So you spend about 4x in the second game running around trying to figure out where she went. And then the next thing you know, you're fighting the god that you killed in the first game again, and it all goes to hell. And it's like, what the fuck? Sorry, I got a little motivated there. Anyhow, recently, it was brought to my attention though, because I was checking it out on Steam. There is actually a new Sunny game that went under the radar for me. It's literally just called Sunny, and the art style and everything about it is completely different. I've heard mixed things about it. I haven't played it personally for that exact reason, but but through the grapevine and about 2 years ago, the Sunny Legacy Collection came out. And let me tell you something. That was like absolute fucking nostalgia. It is so awesome to see old Flash games get ported over to Steam. Like, you don't understand. Adobe Flash is gone, and that sucks, but the ability to, like, just play those back, again, I'd gladly pay money for it. Absolute peak cinema. Absolute peak cinema. But that's Sunny. Another game that I grew up playing quite a bit was actually Papa's Pizzeria. That it's wacky wahoo characters in which you are a oftentimes minimum wage employee who has to look after the shop after Papa gets sent to like some alternate reality or he pisses off for a little bit, and you're just making pizzas, and then the game started expanding outwards, and it got to let me think. Okay, let me think what off the top of my head we got. Okay, so there was the donut one, there was the like freezeria one, uh pancakes, you can make pasta, there was hot dogs. This guy branched out into every single possible freaking area he could, including the wings as well, the wing game. I think my personal favorite though was the pancakes. I know that you could, if I remember correctly, I used to be a conniving little shit when those guys would come on the screen, specifically the customers who were loud and rude, and I would intentionally wait last minute to do their order, even if they gave me like a $2 tip, which is understandable because, I'm being a dick about it, but I only ever earned money through tips on that game, right? They don't pay me a base salary, but it's just like a basic little restaurant managing game in which you're making orders, you're putting them out, and you're looking after it in Papa's place. And that probably spent a lot of my time in school. Actually, a shout out to Cool Math Games, the other one that I did a shit ton of growing up. But Papa Louie, that's the other one. That's the freaking side scroller one in which you're playing Papa and you have to go in like this wacky wahoo world doing all kinds of stuff. Yeah, now that my life was pretty damn crazy, I guess, in that area. Jeez, so many random games. Anyway, let's talk about actually an arena shooter that I know a lot of people may or may not know. Raze, Raze. Uh, Best way to describe it is kick-ass music done by a little man, and this is where we're going to go back to referencing Castle Crashers real quick. So if anyone here has ever played Castle Crashers, this name might bring up some memories. And that name is none other than Waterflame. Waterflame, I believe they go back since like 2003, actually. And they've been producing music ever since then in every single kind of branch of the industry. They've been around since the Flash game era. They've been around since the like later 2010s, and I'm pretty sure actually just recently, actually, let's confirm this real quick while I talk. Um, they did the entire Rays 1 and 2 OST, which I thought was absolutely awesome in every respect. I'm listening to their music right now as I'm recording this, but Ricochet Love specifically, I love that one. Such a damn good song, honestly. But let's actually kind of take a peek here real quick at their funny little experience. Oh jeez, I'm getting nostalgic just looking at their site here. Yeah, there it is. Full original soundtracks, and they actually recently did some work for Arc Knights. That is fragging crazy. Not to mention, looks like they also did some work on the Progenitor, the Shogunate, Progenitor Albedo, and the Last Bakery for the Hoyo Fair and Genshin Impact animation. And Osu. Actually, yeah, they got 34 of those tracks officially licensed. Let's see, got some stuff for Roblox, there's Zen, stuff for the Switch. Fragging. Oh my goodness gracious. And let me just find it here. It's lying around in here somewhere. I know it is. The Behemoth. 7 tracks for the hit video game Castle Crashers and Castle Crashers Remastered. But while we're talking about Rays here, which is a wacky game in which you're playing humanity fighting against zombies and aliens that are invading your world. Shout out to Plasma Burst. They also were known to do a little thing for this game called Age of War. So, how many people here have grew up playing a Flash game and have not heard of Age of War? It is the Flash game, in my opinion, for a lot of people. And it also comes with the OST, Glorious Morning. I cannot stress enough, in any sense of the word, how hard I fucking lock in a game when I hear this track playing. I'll give you an example. Last night, I was doing Everdark Balancers on Night Rain, and in my lock-in playlist, we were down to the man. I had my Grafted Blade, had about 100 stacks on it, but I was getting touched by all 6 of the fucking Everdark variants. The second I heard around the 38-second mark, I was locked the fuck in. I killed those bitches, and I absolutely won the game and brought world peace at the same time. I'll be waiting for my Nobel Peace Prize now, but I doubt it'll ever come to me because I'm just built different. It is that fucking amazing, and I absolutely adored hearing that in every single goddamn area every time without fail. And this is like a 2009 game, mind you, right? It's insanity. It was used in the second. It was used in the second game, and it's the remastered version, if I remember correctly. So it hits twice as hard in that field as well. Another game actually that comes to mind that I think a lot about is Plasma Burst. Which, if I had to think about Plasma Burst, you're it's like this weird. It's like Rays, but how to describe it? It was really difficult because your character's stiff as hell, and when you move around, you have to like wait in order to shoot something, and if you don't, you get blasted. It's yeah. I know positioning was pretty chaotic. Enemies with railguns, honestly, they can kill me for all I care. But I'd like to take a quick moment actually to talk about some company stuff that will be coming up. So, for those who don't may or may not know, for the 2 listeners that are currently listening to this, I will actually be at PAX East for all 4 days. Going to be going in there to hopefully do some marketing and leave with the coveted game job because I wanna I always joke, but get me in there and I'll make something that'll truly make people's eyes pop. But furthermore, if anyone is there and they see me, feel free to chat me up. I'm not too aggressive usually, although sometimes some stuff could be a little wonky. But furthermore, Project Cyclone every year since I believe it was around 23, we've been showing up to Clark for not only the expos but also for IDGA. It just is like a nice little marketing thing. But I think that this particular year in April, and let me actually pull up the date here real quick. We're looking at about I had it here not too long ago. Ah, here we go. Come the 25th of April 2026, we will actually be showcasing and demonstrating our booth and probably some of the projects we're working on. We're always interested in talking to people and kind of just vibing a little bit. So, hey, you're an upstart, you're looking to maybe make your mark, or you're just trying to get involved in the entertainment industry and you need someone to take a chance on you, come chat us up. We always love talking to people. Ask my boss, Jeremy Cummings, the guy we had here last time. He came up for 10 minutes. We chatted. My boss has never seen me talk so much about gotcha in my life. But I digress. What can I say? He talked about FGO, and I talked that Lancelot is the absolute pinnacle of society, Berserker specifically. And we agreed on some things, we didn't on others. Still said I don't have normal bar guys, but whatever. But yeah, no, I mean, he got on the show and all he literally did was come up and talk to me, and I thought he was a really chill guy. Still do, Jeremy, if you're listening to this. So if anyone feels the need, feel free to come up and do that. And finally, before we get back on the topic, I think that you guys should send me some more questions because my past 2 to 3 weeks now, I have been getting Uma Musume questions, and it has been driving me. It's nice to see questions. It's always fun to see that they're always about fictional horses in a video game. Seriously, the VTuber ones that they keep asking me about, it's like, oh god. But for those who want to send questions, send them to the connortalksgames at gmail.com. That is connortalksgames at gmail.com, all lowercase. And please check out our other podcasts, Omnibus to Miscellanea and Teddy Bear Podfix, all of which can be found on our website at projectcyclone.com. Anyways, now that that project statement has been thrown out the window, let's talk a little bit more now about the Flash games. So I want to actually discuss a little bit just about how awesome it was growing up having access to all of these games because really, I mean, if you had a PC, obviously, you could play a couple of things, but Flash games, at least growing up in as a Gen Zer, that was a AAA experience, but Flash. And these were high quality developed projects that were usually uploaded to a variety of websites. Newgrounds was the big one. Tom Fulp mentioned it before. He's the guy who did Pico, one of the oh god, Pico is an entire thing in of itself. But the guy was a American game programmer, and he pretty much kickstarted the browser game scene. He was part of Behemoth, and he developed quite a few games under that work, but also, especially in today's society, I mean, one of the things he's known for is browser game preservation, which, let me tell you something, that's very important. But another one of his works you might be familiar with is Alien Hominid Invasion and Battle Block Theater. I know those are the ones that people kind of really know and talk about. If we're going even a little farther into it, based off what I have here in my notes about video games, Pico School, in which you are, again, Pico, this ginger boy in like a green shirt and red shoes, going around fighting a group of stereotypical goth children who have taken over the school and are complaining about everything. And it's like one of the kids is a ninja, and you fight him in the bathroom, and there's an entire situation in which you're trying to shoot him because he's got like red eyes or something in the dark. And then this was really funny. Um, there is a psychic goth kid who is throwing like bodies and desks at you, and you have to shoot them. And when you lower his HP enough, he will attempt to knock you down into well, he doesn't really knock you down. He just throws the key at you and tells him to fuck off. And what you end up doing is you can you can fucking shoot the desk that he's hiding behind and blow his brains out, which I guess isn't really the most conducive of works, but it really is nice to see that somebody like him is still kind of just kicking ass and working and progressing through just kind of ensuring that everything Flash games related gets created. You know, I might have to inquire if he's available for an interview at some point. He's also the creator of Newgrounds. I don't know why I didn't say that before. God, fuck. I'm all over the place, I'm telling you. It's absolute insanity. Oh, God. Everything. And everyone. Absolute blindsided. And the guy's been around since fucking 1999 when the site came out, so he knows his shit. But, just kind of like back to the general discussion again. I think that Flash games marked a very pivotal moment just kind of on the games landscape in general. Because for pretty much the entirety of the early to mid to late 2000s to into the 2010s, they were the accessible option for a lot of people with a PC, but not with the rig or the ability to do it. And Adobe Flash has created not only all of these games, but also spawned such a wonderful player base behind them. I remember meeting some very fond friends actually at school when we were talking about certain games. I remember particularly balloons. That's another good one actually. You're the tower defense in which you're the monkey with the sole purpose in life of popping balloons and trying to get them absolutely flabbergasted out the window. Now, it is sad, and I do say this a bit, but I do feel the need to kind of like bring it up again that the industry has gone from something in the past in which we took pride in having what, in my opinion, is these pieces of art exhibited to the masses, and we've kind of let the corporateness take over in it. So, having what is effectively these works preserved for future generations to play and kind of see that back in the day, we had this, we had that, we had bada boom. It was nice. I really enjoyed that. The ability to have someone play a game and just do it. Now, hold on a minute. There's Fireboy and Water Girl. That is another one that I need to talk about. Okay, so Fireboy and Water Girl, for those who do not know, was a game that I used to play a lot growing up, where two people control Fireboy and Water Girl, and your purpose is you need to do puzzles together, open doors, go segue into different areas, collect gems, and get out of these puzzle-based rooms. Another good one, Fancy Pants Adventure. You are a stick figure with fancy pants, and your objective is you are platforming around doing things. I remember, funny enough, if you did not move in fancy pants, it actually caused you to stop, and he would fall asleep. And that was just hilarious. Let's see, Crush the Castle. That's actually another good one. The ability to pretty much take a very simplistic format and just absolutely go ham. Now that, ugh, let me tell you something. You ever throw a pair of bombs at a castle that stick and then explode? Or if you ever played the second game, you throw the little purple potion at the castle that has a black hole in it and causes everything to explode? Now they're all flooding back to me. The Stick RPG, actually, Stick Page. That's where I played a lot of stick-based games. Stick Page, for those who do not know, is a website in which you pretty much see stick figures beating the shit out of each other. It's all things dedicated to that. Crazy J, that's another one. Stick Page, I don't think it's been updated in years, actually. I'm looking at the site now. Yeah, copyright 2013. And last time that this got updated was since the total. Oh, damn. Yeah, no, never mind. It hasn't even been updated since the freaking Stick War game, which, oh my god, another game! Stick War. As I mentioned with Waterflame, he did some of the tracks for that one as well. Stick War, in my opinion, is probably one of the best examples of a basic concept, but with such an awesome story behind it. You're a nation called Order, and you are a very weak fledgling nation. But hmm, you go around conquering other nations and taking their technology and incorporating it into your own. So, example, in the opening segment of the game, you fight against a nation called the Archidons, and they are archers. They only know how to use bows. So you beat the shit out of them with clubs. Then you fight the Sword Wrath Nation, who are a bunch of guys with swords, and you beat the shit out of them with clubs and take their swords. And then you fight the Speartons, who are Spartans, but more Spartan. And then there's the Magi Kill, who are the wizards. There are the giants, who are the giants, and vice versa against all of that. And in Stick Wars 2, they took all of that, dialed it up to 20. I'm talking like you go through again and you reconquer all these nations that are rising up against you, but then you immediately afterwards go out and fight against Chaos, the Chaos Empire. Medusa, that boss fight was a pain in the ass because she turned all of my stickmen into freaking tiny guys, but man, I just that was like a top 10 anime moment. My entire army gets turned to stone, and then you just hear like the most manly battle cry, and then this secondary army just runs out and goes after her, which was fragging amazing. Agari.io, actually, that's another Agar.io, excuse me, that's another one. Uh that one you're like it's like playing cells. You're this blob mass that's trying to take over other masses around you, and you can like customize how it looks. Like, oh my god, dude. What's another one? Trying to think. Trying to think, cause like we got one more. Territory War. Okay, okay. Worms, but with stick figures. I think I remember it had Down with the Sickness as the opening theme as well, which was pretty neat. Interactive Buddy, that's another one. God, we're running out of time here. Fuck, I gotta keep thinking. I gotta keep thinking. I talked about Rays. Whack Your Boss. Whack Your Boss was another one. Raft Wars. Shit. Shit. Double Wire, Rage. Yes, I remembered. Okay, you're just a guy who's on fire who's running around beating the shit out of everybody. The Madness series, the original premiere one, that one was peak. The Impossible Quiz was pretty cool. Fuck. Thing. Oh my god, Thing. That Happy Wheels. There it is. And honestly, Last Stand. We're gonna have the last one be Last Stand. Yeah. Well, thank you for joining me today for this discombobulated rant on Flash games. This was actually really fun to do. I enjoyed this. It's been way too long, but you know, check out our website at Project Cyclone. Be sure to send me some questions at connortalksgames@gmail.com. And rest assured, you will be seeing me probably in March, come the funny PAX event. We're already in March, but you know how it is. And April 25th, Clark University, the BDST building, 2 to 6 p.m. Mark it down, because we're going to be there. And I'm excited to see some of you in person. But anyway, that was me. This has been Connor Talks Games. You'll stay frosty.